So we'll be announcing the tariffs on Canada and Mexico for a number of reasons. Number one is the people that have poured into our country so horribly and so much. Number two are the drugs, fentanyl, and everything else that have come into the country. And number three are the massive subsidies that we're giving to Canada and to Mexico in the form of deficits. And I'll be putting the tariff of 25% on Canada and separately 25% on Mexico.
The tariffs go into effect Saturday, so buy your maple syrup and Corona now. The administration's moving fast. You either get out of the way or get run over. Federal employees who don't come back to the office are getting the pink slip. Legacy media does not like that one bit.
Is there any concern that we risk losing people with years of experience like doctors and let's say scientists?
Well, most doctors who work in actual hospitals and medical institutions have to show up to the office.
Trump's offering a generous severance package for anyone who doesn't want to commute. But some bureaucrats want to fight. Some at the Labor Department said, quote, "I'd rather be fired for resisting and making their lives hell." Even employees who are planning on quitting are staying just to resist. Quote, "I was looking for any way to get out of this fresh hell, but now I am fired up to make these goons as frustrated as possible. Return to office be damned." Trump's not just firing people, he's hiring them. The president talks so much more than Biden that the White House is adding more stenographers. Under Biden, they were bored, and now they're typing 20,000 words a day. And he's not just talking the talk. The Republican Party has its highest approval rating of all time. Democrats are desperate for a facelift. Last night, they held an emergency meeting to conjure up a counter strategy. What'd they come up with? Eggs.
I feel like sometimes giving messaging advice to Democrats is like giving kids matches. You know, it's like you say something about like inflation and the cost of living, and suddenly they're all out there being like, that's not going to do anything to lower the price of eggs. No. It's like, come on, make it believable, guys. It's not believable right now. No one is out there thinking that Donald Trump was going to lower the price of eggs or lower the cost of everything after a week.
Eggs, Gen 6, DEI, deportations. Trump has Democrats playing whack-a-mole. And whatever they say about anything, no one is buying it.
My party needs to reestablish our credibility on a number of issues. We don't have the credibility that we need on issues like immigration, like DEI, dealing with racism and discrimination, like the economy. I think we need to spend more time reestablishing our own credibility, not just bashing on what Trump does.
The Democrat Party is more unpopular than it's been in the history of the Quinnipiac poll. No one likes the Democrats, not even Democrats. Founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, is here. You've studied the Democratic Party, Charlie, on college campuses, in Congress. What state is it in right now?
They are in the wilderness. They're in a state of confusion. In fact, President Trump is moving so fast, Democrats can't even remember all the things they're supposed to be mad about. They're like, wait a second, which one are we mad about today? Was it the gender mutilation executive order? Was it the affirmative action thing? Oh, right, no, it's eggs. The fact that he's securing the southern border. Look, they're going to try to gin up some resistance, but deep down, smart Democrats know that this is performative. And this is the brilliance of what President Trump and his team are doing right now. It is a shock and awe strategy. You know the Democrats right now are in the wilderness. They're trying to find their direction. They're trying to find their leader. They're trying to orient themselves out of this state of complete confusion. And President Trump is not giving them a reprieve. Every day they wake up to another executive order, another executive action, a master class of diplomacy that we saw with Colombia over the weekend. And every day, even if they're trying to raise money and do more text messages and email campaigns to get people to go resist in the streets, boom, another executive order comes because deep down they know that President Trump is just getting started. And this is before a robust legislative agenda that's going to come through from the House and the Senate. So President Trump is moving so quickly that Democrats right now are not even given the opportunity to regroup or regather. And President Trump, therefore, is having full spectrum dominance over the American political landscape.
What about the war on the inside? These saboteurs, the dead enders, the DEI undercover agents. He's trying to root them out. Some of them are just announcing they're going to stay in the federal government and just pull pins out of hand grenades.
I mean, look, first and foremost, insubordination will not be tolerated. That these people must be very careful. There are federal laws against these sorts of things, not following orders or leaking classified information. I can tell you right now, the people that are actually making the decisions in these departments, the political appointees, are phenomenal. Personnel is policy. The president has the best team he has ever had around him, from senior staff, from personnel, from the people actually leading these bureaucracies. And a lot of these individuals are going to reveal themselves. But I can tell you right now that the pace of which they are operating, it's not exactly a friendly pace for some of the people that were working in the Biden administration. They were very used to opening up their laptop around 11 a.m., maybe having a second job, coming into work maybe once a month, and working every so often. This is a different operation, a different administration, one that wants results for the American people. And let any federal worker right now be warned that if you are going to subvert the will of a president, then you're playing with legal fire right there, because it is very clear in Article 2 that the President of the United States is in charge of the federal bureaucracy. You don't get to call the shots. You follow orders, or you can go find a job at Salesforce.
We were just joking upstairs. Now there's a trade war against Mexico and Canada. And any other news day, this would be top line. And this is just deep down in the show. How do you think this impact is going to play out on the economy?
Well, look, I trust the president's negotiation ability completely. Understand that many of these companies want to actually do business here in America. And so to avoid the tariff, re-domicile your manufacturing here to America to onshore these jobs. Look, I think that is when it comes to immigration, using the tariffs as a negotiating tactic to get Mexico to come to the table is brilliant. And I think the president using tariffs in the way he has to encourage manufacturing to come back to this country has been long overdue. We used to fund the entire federal government with tariffs. We used to fund all of our goods and services that we had through tariffs. In fact, I love the president's idea of the External Revenue Service. Get rid of the Internal Revenue Service. Let's start actually taxing the rest of the world. And we're able to do this as the world's superpower, as the incumbent economic power, because everyone wants to do business here. It's one thing if you're Portugal. It's one thing if you're Spain. It's another thing we're the United States of America, because people want to come here. This will result in trillions of dollars of more investment and capital coming into our country.
So Charlie wants to get rid of the income tax. So they just pay the federal budget down with tariffs. I know why. It's because Charlie's making so much money. And you know what? I agree. Let's do it. Let's scrap it. See you, Charlie.